Senior BNP leaders, including the current Prime Minister, publicly campaigned in favor of the referendum. Distinguished guests, the July Revolution of 2024 was not an ordinary protest movement. It was a historic national awakening. Students, workers, professionals, intellectuals, and ordinary citizens united against a deeply entrenched authoritarian order that had concentrated power, weakens our institution, manipulate elections, undermined judicial independence, and restricted freedom of expression. The people of Bangladesh demanded not cosmetic reform, but structural transformation. They demanded a republic where institutions would be stronger than individuals, where accountability would prevail over impunity, and where democracy would no longer depend on repeated sacrifice. Following the fall of authoritarian regime, an interim government was formed under the leadership of Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus with a clear national mandate, which was to reform state institutions, ensure justice for victims of repression, and oversee a democratic transition. On behalf of the National Citizen Party, we argued that meaningful reform required a new democratic constitution. We believed that Constitution of 1972 had evolved into a framework enabling excessive concentration of executive authority and one-party domination over the state. Without structural constitutional reform, democratic backsliding would inevitably return. However, due to resistance from powerful political actors, the proposal for a new constitution was abandoned. Instead, all parties agreed upon the July Charter as a framework for minimum but essential reforms. Despite our reservation, we accepted the Charter because it included critical safeguards like judicial independence, protection of constitutional bodies from executive interference, and the establishment of a proportional representation based upper chamber to prevent unilateral constitutional manipulation. A national referendum was subsequently held on the July Charter and 48 reform proposals. The people overwhelmingly endorsed the reform agenda and approved the implementation mechanism. 8 core reform provisions concerning constitutional institution, the caretaker government framework, constitutional amendment procedures, and the upper house received direct democratic approval and therefore cannot be subject to partisan reinterpretation. The referendum further mandated the formation of a constitutional reform council composed of newly elected members of parliament